Hello, hello. I am going to be streaming. So, are we live? Yeah, I think we're live. Hold on. Or is it unlisted? No, it's public. Let's check my channel.
Elvis is one of the worst movies.
Oh no, that's wrong channel. Fucking hell. No, refresh. Yeah, live. I think my sound is being stupid again. Sound. Let's test. Nope, can't hear anything, I don't think. Let's test with nope. That was wrong. Let's see. Yep, it works. Let's see. Let's see. Sardonicast highlights. Now I have the channel open. Can have a look. Oh, better turn my sound off. Just getting some stuff ready. Okay, so let's see.
Three from a movie we watched.
It's a rocket ship.
It's a rocket ship. I'm Adam from your movies Sex. This is Sardonicast. Hello.
I'm Ralph Seppi from Smoochie.
You're Smoochie?
Yeah.
Yeah, what? Yeah, I'm Alex from IHG. And I've already forgotten there's like another Smoochie character. What was it? Smoochie and...
Bucci?
Cousin.
Something?
Yeah.
Moochie. Yeah.
Moochie. It was Moochie.
The maroon brown one.
Moochie, that's right.
Drop the S.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Munchie.
Mm.
Yeah, great movie.
No.
But speaking of great movies...
It's that time of year, everybody. The Oscars, man, they're here. The thing we all care about the most.
Woohoo.
You did it.
At least it's not the Golden Globes.
Or the Grammys. Or the 420 Awards. Yeah.
Well, those are the
The
best, the
Game Awards.
420 Awards. Yeah, the Game
Yeah.
Awards. The VJs. Yeah.
I could not care less about the Grammys. I saw one interesting news bit from it, and that was that, what's her name? Viola Davis is now
Yeah.
an EGOT.
Yeah.
So,
Heard about that.
yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty
Great.
cool.
What, like 5 people? Right? So,
Yeah.
That's great. Good for her.
It's like Harvey Weinstein, just
Relevant information. Come on. It says Mel Brooks. Yeah, it did Mel Brooks.
that makes sense.
Yeah. Uh-huh. Those felt.
I don't trust Shia LaBeouf about anything.
This Colin
Who?
Farrell for the Banshees of Inisherin. Brendan Fraser for The Whale.
Yay.
Paul Mescal for After Sun. And Bill
Yeah.
Nighy for Living. Have any favorites in this section?
I feel like it's gonna go to Austin Butler.
I'm worried it will go
do
to
you think
Austin
so?
Butler. I'm
I feel
worried
like it will
about
go
that.
Did you not like him in the role?
I mean, he he wasn't terrible, but
Not to be.
it wouldn't be like
Okay.
top 5 of the year sort of thing for me. And
Sure.
I think that the
Not to
Oscars has a
confront you.
bias towards these like biopics where they're like, oh yeah, he reminded me so much of the real life character. It's like, okay, that's also partly casting, right? Like you pick someone that like kind of looks like them already, and now he's doing this weird fucking ad campaign for himself where he's saying like, I've permanently damaged my voice. I can't speak normal anymore. All I can say is baby, baby. And it's
Exactly.
like,
Not that he damaged his voice. He like only talks like Elvis now. Like he
he
can't get
said
out
he
of the
damaged
Elvis
his
voice.
voice. He said he's like I don't know if that's true. I think he's just doing a fucking Oscar buzz thing. Because remember for the
That was hilarious.
Bohemian Rhapsody.
I'm here, by the way, just quietly trying to find the part that I want to highlight.
Everybody
Yeah.
clowns on that winning best editing, but they don't remember that part of the reason why that happened is because there was this sob story behind it where they were like, well, yeah, the editor saved the movie because Bryan Singer dropped out halfway through, and so was the editor. Like, nobody knew what was happening on set, but the editor saved it, and so they gave the editing award to a movie that had shit editing just because of the story behind it, is what it seemed like happens. So I think that that's what Austin Butler's doing right now. Maybe call me insensitive. Maybe there's medical records and he's like actually suffering through something, which is weird, and I don't understand why. But like, I don't know. I think Brendan Fraser deserves it the most, both for his performance and also maybe the sub story behind it.
True, yeah. Yeah, it does seem like a depressing repeat of Bohemian Rhapsody. I don't know what it was about that movie and now Elvis. Like, that was one of my big takeaways seeing this list. Just like, man, as soon as I started seeing all the ads for Elvis, I was like, man, this is just not interesting to me. these
But
biopics,
Elvis is a much better movie than Bohemian Rhapsody is. I mean, that movie was really fucking bland and, like you said, it was completely incompetent. Nah,
it was carried by
I
random.
think that
I just put out a review for Elvis. It's on my channel, Dusty Gems. If anyone's listening and wants to check it out,
Elvis has more style.
I'll put a link to it.
Elvis at least had a hook. Yeah, and it was like about the story of, you know, the Tom Hanks character and whatever, and his control over Elvis. It's like, all right, at least there's like something to focus on there. Whereas Bohemian Rhapsody, it's like the worst of these fucking biopics. It reminds me of that new Whitney Houston one, which it's also the same writer, by the way, as Bohemian Rhapsody, and it's like just like basically beats of their life, like, you know, A, B, C. They get a musical career. They you know, have struggles or whatever. It's the same thing every movie. It's better when you do a biopic like Amadeus or something where it's like something different, a different perspective. Elvis, look, I didn't love it, but it was like, it's definitely better than Bohemian Rhapsody. It's got some good acting in it. You know, it's definitely cheesy. It's super fucking cheesy. I mean, for sure.
It depends on how you grade it. There's some good acting in Elvis. There's also some really bad acting. Like Tom Hanks, what the fuck are you doing? You look at the actual real life person, the character that he's portraying, and you can hear him in interviews. He doesn't sound like that at all. I don't know what he was trying to do.
Yeah.
Tom Hanks was doing
He was really hamming it up in that. Yeah, super hammy. But the whole movie was like cheesy.
That was bizarre. I think it's cruel to let Tom Hanks do that. I think that is abuse from the director to let Tom Hanks do that. That's so weird that he was allowed to do that on set.
Yeah. Okay, so like who else is nominated? I think that's like the main. I think it's between Austin Butler and.
The only one I haven't seen is Living, which is apparently a remake of Ikiru. So I need to watch that first.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Is it?
Okay, interesting.
Interesting. I didn't even know that.
Yeah.
Colin Farrell, though, shout out to.
Oh hell yeah!
Banshees.
Yeah, he was great.
Yeah,
he could win,
really
and I
good.
wouldn't be as upset about it if Austin Butler win.
I think he could win too. If he won, I wouldn't. Yeah, I think he could possibly win.
Yeah.
It's entirely possible, as someone would say.
Okay.
What's a podcast?
Actor in a supporting role, then. Brendan Gleeson for Banshees, Brian Tyree Henry for Causeway, Judd Hirsch for The Fablemans, Barry Keoghan, is that how you say it? Cohen?
Keegan? I don't know.
Is it
I guess you're
Keoghan?
closer.
I think it's
he's Irish. Right?
Keegan?
Man.
Is it like Keegan Michael
Keegan
Key?
sounds Irish and proper. Yeah, for Banshees, obviously, and Ki Hui Kwan for Everything Everywhere. That was another thing that stood out. Was like I really was not anticipating Everywhere.
Yeah, there's a bit of a
Yeah.
with his so like all the camera movements he shot at like traffic or something.
I think that if you're going to be in a movie where your accent is showing through most of it, like that's like at least one criticism of the performance. And if we're gonna say 5 best of the year, I should not be thinking of any criticisms of the performance. I would say that it's entirely possible to find 5 performances in a year where there's nothing wrong with the performance. So I would just say, yeah, it doesn't really belong
It's
for me.
entirely
I wouldn't say
possible.
she deserves a Razzie
Yeah.
or anything, but like, yeah, I don't know if I agree.
No, that's
with
just
it being
yeah.
in best actress category.
Yeah, Razzie is just mean spirited. Yeah, they just
Yeah.
pick on an actor or actress every
Yeah,
year.
yeah.
It's fucking stupid. But yeah, I don't really mind her getting nominated. I don't think she's gonna win at all. I think probably Kate Blanchett.
Yeah, surely
think
it's
she
a
should.
sweep for Blanchett.
Michelle Yeoh
yeah.
could get it maybe,
I-
but Kate Blanchett.
Michelle Yeoh was great. My favorite actor in that was probably Ke Kwan. I think or James
Mhm.
Wong. I think they were better. I don't know.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
I'm with you. As good as she is as the lead.
So there's a particular seemingly unprecedented controversy.
I don't know.
This is what I wanted to highlight.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
I'm with you. As good as she is as the lead.
So there's a particular seemingly unprecedented controversy in this category. So we've all never watched To Leslie and probably never heard of it. Andrea
Yeah.
Riseborough category. So we've all never watched To Leslie and probably never heard of it. Andrea
Yeah.
Riseborough. So they're investigating her right now because her nomination was not brought out of a studio-backed for-year consideration campaign, but because she went on social media and she was like, hey, everybody campaign for me. And all of her peers and all of these other actors were like, you know what? You did like a fucking amazing job in this movie. And they all pushed for her to get this Oscar campaign. And so now, because it isn't like a money-backed push and it's like a genuine grassroots, like, oh, people liked the performance, they're investigating her, being like, did you do something wrong? You're supposed to have money behind this. Like, it's just like, holy shit, really? Like, you get this one inkling of like, oh, maybe the Oscars aren't so fake. Like, and then they're like, we gotta look into this.
Launch
we
the
gotta punish her
investigation. Yeah.
because the studio didn't. Yeah, there was no for-year consideration campaign for her from the actual production company or studio.
It was
so,
all
yeah, it
celebrity
was a
backed and
grassroots
actor
thing, and they're
backed.
investigating over it. Like, what the fuck?
Barack
dude?
Obama retroactively
Yeah.
like put it on his best of the year list.
I
Yeah.
hadn't really looked into this movie before, but it's got like 4K ratings on IMDb. It's like clearly.
Mm-hmm.
It
Very
looks
small
very good
movie.
though, actually.
Yeah.
Looks really interesting.
Yeah, supposedly the performance is really good, and
Yeah.
she's been in a few other things, and I've enjoyed her, so it'll be interesting to see. I'm looking forward to that, actually. Maybe the movie's shit and the performance is really great, but who knows?
Okay.
Nice.
Actress in a supporting role: Angela Bassett for Black Panther, Hong Chow, The Whale.
Who knows?
That's my first highlight. So, where is it? Yeah, there. So, I hate Premiere. Let's see. Let's fix this up. Is that a higher resolution poster? Or even photo? I don't like how that looked. That looks like shit. That looks like shit. Should I use this one? This looks good, I think. Okay. Oh wait, no. What's the dimensions on that? want higher damage. I think that's good. That's good. That's good. Okay, we can blow that up a little bit. What's the dimensions actually? Is it love? I can't tell.
Particular, seemingly unprecedented controversy in this category. So we've all never watched To Leslie and probably never heard of it. Andrea Riseborough. So they're investigating her right now because category. So there's a particular, seemingly unprecedented controversy in this category. So we've all never watched To Leslie and probably never heard of it. Andrea Riseborough. So Leslie and probably never heard of it. Andrea Riseborough. So Riseborough. So they're investigating her right now because her nomination was not brought out of a studio-backed for-year consideration campaign. Her nomination because so they're investigating her right now. They're investigating. So they're
To Leslie investigation.
investigating her right now because because her nomination was not brought out of a studio-backed for-year consideration campaign, but because she went on social media and she was like, hey, everybody campaign for me. And all of her peers and all of these other actors were like, you know what? You did like a fucking amazing job in this movie. And they all pushed for her to get this Oscar campaign. And so now, because it isn't like a money-backed push and it's like a genuine grassroots, like, oh, people liked the performance, they're investigating her, being like, did you do something wrong? Being like, was there some... like, was there some? Did you do something? It's like, oh, people liked the performance. They're investigating her, being like, was there some? Investigating her, being like, was there some? Did you do something wrong? You're supposed to have money behind this.
Oh.
Like, it's money behind this.
Oh.
Like, it's just like, holy shit, really? Like, you get this one inkling of like, oh, maybe the Oscars aren't so fake. Like, and then they're like, we gotta look into this.
Launch
we
detail
gotta punish her
investigation.
because the studio didn't. Yeah, there was no for your consideration campaign for her from the actual production company or studio.
It was all celebrity
it was
backed.
production company or studio.
It was all celebrity
it was
backed
a
and
grassroots
actor
thing,
backed.
and they're investigating over it. Like,
An
grassroots
actor
thing, and they're investigating over it. Like, what the fuck?
Barack Obama retroactively like put it on.
Investigating over it. Like, what the fuck?
Barack
It was a
backed and
grassroots
actor
thing,
backed.
and they're investigating over it. Like, what the fuck?
Barack Obama retroactively like put it on his best of the year list.
I
Yeah.
haven't really.
Obama actively like put it on his best of the year list.
I
Yeah.
haven't really.
Actively like put it on his best of the year list.
I
Yeah.
haven't really looked into this movie before, but it's got like 4K ratings on IMDb. It's like clearly.
Mm-hmm.
It's one that looks very
small
good
movie.
though. Actually,
Yeah.
looks really interesting.
Yeah, suppose.
It's one that
Very
looks very
small
good
movie.
though. Actually,
Yeah.
looks really interesting.
Yeah, suppose.
On IMDb, it's like clearly.
Mm-hmm.
It's one
Mm-hmm.
it's one that looks very
small
good though.
movie.
Actually,
Yeah.
looks really interesting.
Yeah, suppose.
Very
looks very
small
good though.
movie.
Actually,
Yeah.
looks really interesting.
Yeah.
Looks really interesting.
Yeah, supposedly the performance is really good, and
Yeah.
she's been in a few other things, and I've enjoyed her, so it'll be interesting to see. I'm looking forward to that, actually. Maybe the movie's shit and the performance is really great, but who knows? Performance is really great, but who knows? Is really great, but who knows?
Okay.
One highlight done. Let me.
Actress in a supporting role: Angela Bassett for Black Panther, Hong Chow.
In the movie, but the rest of it was just so uninvesting to me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I did like that scene.
Ooh.
It's the standout scene. It's crazy. It's definitely the most
Alright.
notable part of the movie, but
Well, we got documentaries next. We can rock it through this too.
They have a sound.
No,
award
there's a couple other ones.
nomination.
Visual effects.
Okay, music then. All Quiet on the Western Front, Babylon, Banshees, Everything Everywhere, and The Fablemans.
That's interesting. I don't know who's gonna get it.
I know what I'd want Sun Lux for this, but man.
Same here.
It's a very versatile score. A lot of different styles.
Yeah, but do you think they're just gonna hand it to John Williams there?
It might be a hand it to John Williams situation. But we don't know.
Seems like there's a few of these.
And then Carter Burwell is also a big name, so.
On the Western Front, Glass Onion and Knives Out Mystery.
That's a
Living,
weird one for
Top
me.
Gun Maverick
Yeah.
and Woman Talking. I'm confused. Was it
Yeah.
Ting.
Is that because it's based on a Beatles song?
Is it the Beatles song?
No, because it's a
The
sequel.
Glass
I think. That's
Onion?
what makes it adapted.
Oh.
Like, out of what I enjoyed in that movie, the screenplay wasn't like up there, but it's its only nom.
Glass
I know
Onion.
the screenplay could have had some work done on it.
Oh yeah, it's like a murder mystery. You feel like work to like. It's called.
Oh no, you're right. I have seen ads for this actually. What's it
It's
called?
Finch. It's called Finch.
That's right. Was that
Called
this
it
year?
Chappie.
Okay, I've never. Oh yeah, I saw this poster and I thought this
Yeah,
is
yeah.
not going to stay in my
Yeah.
memory, and it didn't.
Finch.
Oh my god. Yeah.
Is Finch him or is Finch the robot? I've seen the movie. I don't even remember.
I don't know.
Yeah, he's Finch apparently.
Does the
Yeah.
robot run on like Mac software or what? Is it an iOS?
Like Wally, yeah.
Yeah. And then Tom Hanks is like, I'm a PC, and the robot's like, I'm a Mac. I run.
Feel free to chat away
Run
if you're in the
faster.
chat.
You're a loser.
All right.
Yeah, that's like the equivalent of a company producing a commercial that's just the Wojak soy shit. I recommended a movie, regrettably, called Death to Smoochie. It's directed by Daniel DeVito.
New guy on the scene, I guess.
Yeah, up and coming. And yeah, Robin Williams and Edward Norton, Catherine Keener, some names. Jon Stewart was in it. That was weird.
Yeah.
Really weird.
And yeah, there's Robin Williams is like a disgraced kids show host guy, and he wants to kill Smoochie, who appears after, and he's jealous or something. And it's very boring and very unfunny. And
It's a summary.
I am worse because of this film.
Yes.
Really?
What is the deal with this fucking film? Oh my god. It felt like an attack. I don't know what the hell they were trying to go for with this one. But I did the classic. I'll try not to check if a movie's like boring me to death. I'll try not to look at like my watch or the time code, and I'll like make a guess. Okay, maybe this is like towards the end, like based on how this feels right now, the way things are flowing.
Yeah.
And I did that, and I looked at the timer, and 1 hour had passed, and I was like, no.
Yeah.
It's like 40 minutes of this left. Oh
yeah.
my god, I can't.
It genuinely felt like a 4-hour-long movie. It's an hour and 49
did.
minutes. It genuinely felt like 4 hours.
It felt almost as long as like the Hobbit movies we just watched. It was
Yeah.
like it went on forever.
I would rather watch that trilogy again than this.
The structure of it was so weird because there's a point like Edward Norton's character gets like canceled. I thought that was like the end of the movie. It's like, but it's like 40 minutes in. The movie still goes after that.
Yeah.
He like recovers and there's like more movie after that. I'm like, Jesus, I thought that was like the low point or something. Yeah. The movie, you're right. It's quite shrill or loud, I guess is the word for it. I noticed, especially with like the music choices, where they were very just loud music choices that were kind of obnoxious to where if I would get up to leave the room for like a second because the movie wasn't very interesting, I got like a drink or something, the music would start like blaring in the other room because like the next scene would start. It was just so loud. I'm
Yeah.
like, Jesus, I have to like run back in and like lower the TV.
But also, like, the sounds they chose for the set. Ironically, they kind of scored it like a children's movie, even though they're trying to do the whole, like, you know, the juxtaposition of the
they
edgy
say
guy
fuck.
playing
Yeah.
the kid's character, and they say
That makes
fuck,
it funny.
Yeah. That which makes it funny, yeah.
Yeah.
But no, the music was, like, really strange. It made a lot of the... It just made the intentions really unclear to me. Because there's this whole crime angle, and they seem to want to also have this, like, romance angle, but also everything is a huge joke and nothing matters.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was it too. The movie just had like no like stakes because everything felt like a cartoon.
Yeah. It was
Everything
a
felt like a kid's
movie
show.
that
Yeah.
insisted that it was outrageous. You know? It insisted it was funny, and it just wasn't living up to it. And it was like, "Oh, but it's, you know, it's ironic or something." Like, it is
we
a
got
joke.
Robin Williams like just hamming it up, like with slapstick and all, like crashing into walls and just being crazy. In the same time, they got I got one laugh, and it was like a shock laugh because I just was not ready for it or anticipating it.
Yeah.
The whole, you know, the Nazis scene.
I figured you were gonna say that. That's like the only notable thing about the movie other than the title.
Yeah, and it's like just to get to that scene, like none of it makes like any sense or is like
No,
any
it
kind of like
doesn't.
fun, but it's like so stupid.
That's what I mean. But yeah, the cartoon.
And it doesn't
logic.
matter ultimately because they immediately
No.
resolve that situation.
Exactly.
after.
Yeah.
So it doesn't really even carry through into
And
the
Robin
rest of
Williams,
the film.
his character ends up getting rewarded for it. Like it doesn't
Yeah.
even really matter. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, it's so frustrating just to like watch that happen because you're like, wait, this doesn't make sense. Like how any of this would happen. Like why are there all these Nazis there? It's just like it makes no sense.
Huge hallway.
Yeah, like were they genuine fans of Smoochie?
Yeah, exactly.
Like were they hyped to watch Smoochie, or did they all get paid individually to show up there?
And they all sat in silence.
It seems like they
until
were
he
just
finished.
they were just hyped for Smoochie. Yeah, they sat in silence. Waited
I feel
for the
like a
drop.
scene like that could work in like a different movie where the tone was right. Because it's something like this. It reminded me almost of like Anchorman, where the characters are like kind of larger than life, exaggerated, cartoonish. But Anchorman, it was just much funnier, and it was more of like. It was just more clear what the tone of that
satire
movie
worked
was.
better.
It wasn't trying to.
Yeah, you could tell it was a comedy
Yeah.
for a start. Yeah,
And the tone of this was just all over the place. Like, yeah, it's like kind of a kiddie tone, but then they like say fuck and they do all these like someone gets shot. You know, it's like all this shit that's like more adult. And the tones are clashing, and I get what they're going for. I think that's the point, but it's just very frustrating to watch because it's not very funny. It's insisting, like you're saying, it's insisting that it's funny, but it's just not, and it's very kind of obnoxious as a result.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah, but there are like like Roger Rabbit is a kids film, but it's still like an edgy noir that has like a bunch of, you know, kind of heavier, weirder stuff in it with a consistent tone. That was the only thing I could really think of. It's like kind of along these sort of lines, but working, you know?
Yeah.
Because it is trying to do that kind of noir thing, especially with like the villain character with the, you know, the lighting and the hat and the costumes and the blinds.
The lighting was so
Yeah,
off.
just and like you describing like the story and the acting and the colors, even like it's all like a visual barrage, an attack. Like whenever they're in the studio or the boardrooms and stuff. Like
Yeah. It looked so
whatever
ugly.
they were going for. Like, yeah, it's so like gaudy to look at. It's horrible.
It was like not quite at the level of live action Cat in the Hat, but it was somewhere in between, you know? Like,
yeah, not that intense.
So the movie was directed by Danny DeVito. I don't know if we said.
Yeah.
This is his first movie.
No, he did Matilda before
Oh.
this.
He directed a couple other things.
Oh
He did
shit!
Matilda,
really?
like that was his one that he did before this.
I actually like Matilda.
Yeah, it's not bad.
yeah, I
better
loved it as
than
a
this.
kid, I remember. Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't realize he made that first. Yeah, well, this movie just it feels kind of like a barrage of colors. It's so oversaturated and cartoonish. It's hard to care about what's happening when, you know, like you said, he goes to a Nazi rally, everyone photographs him, he's like sent to jail, and then like the next day he's fine. He like has a career again.
Yeah.
It's just like, why do we even care
Nothing matters.
about the story? Nothing matters. It's not funny. Like, who gives a shit?
Yeah.
Yeah,
You
it doesn't
know?
really escalate.
So I don't understand why Robin Williams got fired, because so what? Like, some parents gave him money to cast his kid in the show. Like, if he has the power to do that, then why would he get in trouble for doing that? Who got him in trouble? Like, you're not allowed. Like, what? How is that like a fireable offense?
Yeah, they just kind of call him a criminal. That's all they really say.
Yeah, it was like he committed a crime. That was a crime. Like, they could have just had something different. Like, he did drugs or something. Like, maybe there was a scandal with that. That would have been crime. Better. That was a crime. Like, what was his major crime?
Like, yeah, it beats me. It just seemed like they just wanted, or were more relying on just Robin Williams to try and like carry it, because it's like no material. Like, come on, Robin, just do something wacky and crazy for this scene to try and sell it.
Yeah, say something funny, yell.
Do that Scottish accent we love when you do stand up. Why don't you do that?
When you said the movie made you laugh once, it made me laugh once too. It's when Robin Williams just yells like "motherfucker." Like in the movie, that kind of broke me. That was the only time I think I laughed.
Yeah,
was from him. Yeah, Robin Williams, tremendous talent. I miss him. Amazing actor. Yeah, she wasn't utilized to his fullest in this film.
All three of the leads, like, these are all extremely capable.
Edward Norton. Yeah, I love Edward Norton too. Just saw him in Glass Onion. He gave a great comedic performance in that. Right, and here it's lame.
Yeah, this might be the worst I've ever seen Edward Norton. I'm trying to wrap my brain. Like,
it's bizarre.
It's like noticeably awful and just like strange.
His accent changes throughout the movie too. Like, sometimes he's got like this weird like southern drawl that kind of like pokes out.
His whole character is he's like a health nut. He's obsessed with that, and he's like naive and true to the kids or whatever. And it's like played for laughs until all of a sudden, oh no, Catherine Keener is romantically interested in him, I guess. And it turns out she was also, Robin Williams was her ex. So now it's like this weird love triangle.
She has a thing for like kid show hosts.
Yeah.
Which she even says.
Clearly.
It's very weird. Yeah. I didn't like her character much. Again, she's a good actor, but her character is very, poorly written in this.
She's the only actor that didn't kind of disappoint me in the film. Her character's not great, for sure, but she didn't do like the worst job, I guess. Whereas everyone else, I was like, what are you doing right now? Everybody else had a lot of issues.
Jon Stewart. What was with his hair?
His haircut was so weird.
His hair was awful.
Yeah, was that intentional to try and like embarrass him?
I think so. I think he's, kind of like a Steve Carell in Anchorman, where he's supposed to look like kind of weird, but he was acting like Jon Stewart, I don't think Jon Stewart can like pull that off.
It didn't work at all.
No. It was very jarring to see Jon Stewart in this.
Well, yeah, I was just kind of confused, like why he was there. Like, what was he doing there? Like,
it was embarrassing. It was just terrible.
Acting, I guess.
I'm like, yeah, I guess.
Presumably,
if you want to call it that. Yeah.
Yeah. It's crazy that it went on for like almost 2 hours, and I don't remember much at all because it was just torture.
Right.
It was just unfunny fucking torture.
Yeah, it just kind of lost me with the story. Like, there's these other gangsters that are introduced, and they want to kill Smoochie. I just kind of lost the plot. I just didn't know what was happening.
Yeah, because there's not just one like crime family. There's like all different sects of like crime that they like explore through this universe they've built for Smoochie. Right, because there's like there's the Irish people, there's the main mob guy who, the crazy voice.
Yeah.
Was fucking painful.
And then Danny DeVito's in the movie too, and he's like the one who actually tries to kill Smoochie because he wants money. Like, I wasn't even clear on that.
The one guy who winds up putting on the Moochie suit. The first scene he's in, and he's like talking weird. I was like, surely we're not going to see him in a second scene. And then he just shows up throughout the movie, and I found myself asking, why is this character in the movie? Why do they keep bringing back this character? And then he puts on the Moochie suit, and they're like, oh, we tried to kill Smoochie, but we accidentally killed Moochie. I'm like, that's the only reason you put this character in the movie. And he took up a lot of screen time. And it was annoying throughout. It was like never funny.
Yeah, for sure. That was a waste.
They were always all the humor was like punching down too. It was always just like way early on. Like, yeah, I'm gonna get you off that smack. That's what in the drug addict place, and trying to play that for you. And it's not that you can't make humor out of the subject matter, but it's like, man, not with this story, not with this.
Yeah, don't they make a gay joke like, oh, everyone's gonna think you're gay or something like that?
Yeah, Robin Williams like references that when Edward Norton was in the car to him, he makes a gay joke at his expense.
Yeah, that's right.
You should have seen the way he looked at me or something.
He's gay. You don't want to be with him. Yeah, exactly. It's tasteless. It's just stupid. It's
Look at this
stupid
idiot
movie.
trying to be healthy. Isn't trying to be healthy so crazy? You drink crazy juice.
Yeah.
You're so crazy.
Yeah. They do this whole thing of this other plot line that they had to shove in there. Smoochie on ice. They force him to make a show where he goes on ice and entertains the kids. And he wants to make it healthy. He wants to serve smoothies and apple slices. And it's like, where is this going? It leads to a 20-minute sequence at the end of the movie where he's on ice and there's no jokes. It's just unironically watching Edward Norton like do an ice show. It's fucking bizarre.
Until someone tries to snipe him, right?
Just kind of recapping the person.
I watched the movie and it was actually as awful as they're talking about. It was like unbearable. Like, Jesus Christ.
Personal life events of not Smoochie, but like the actor playing Smoochie. Like, come see this show, Smoochie on Ice, where we just summarize things that happened to me, the actor playing Smoochie.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad you mentioned this. There's a point he kind of has like this psychotic break. It's like after the Nazi scene where he's like singing around the campfire to the kids and he's like, the world will hurt you or some shit like that. And then, from that point on, he kind of becomes like completely deluded.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, and the wolf howling, He becomes like completely self-obsessed and like kind of crazy. I was like, what the fuck? Where's this going?
Yeah, you're constantly asking how much, what do you want me to feel from this? Like, am I supposed to be laughing? Is that?
I'm like, oh, is he going to become like the villain of the story now? And then Robin Williams will become like the hero. But that's not what happened. It kind of gets forgotten about. It goes nowhere.
Nothing goes
it's just
anywhere.
like with most things. Yeah.
Yeah, does like anyone change at all by the end of the like everyone's like static. It's all just
nothing has any effect on anything. There's no reason to watch the movie. I'm realizing now it's always visually off-putting with the guy's face sticking out of the suit, where it's like, okay, well, no kid's gonna watch this. No kid wants to see this weird looking dude's mouth coming out of the fursuit, right? They want to see just they want to pretend it's what I guess is a rhino in this
exactly.
movie,
it's like Barney. It's like, Barney has a face.
Now I'm realizing that it was probably the same executive decision as like the Halo show, where it's like, no, you have to see the actor so you know who it is. Right? You can't just have the actor behind the mask, You can't just have Edward Norton voice act. You have to see that it's Edward Norton for the trailers or something. Like, it just looks like shit. It looks awful. Like nobody would watch that. And then when they were filming the scenes of them on set, it was so bizarre because like there was this disconnect. Like they couldn't quite make it feel like it was genuinely a TV show. It always felt like a movie. And so I was noticing certain things about it, like, okay, like some of the camera work and like just the weird production on set where it's like you have like 30, 40 kids. I'm like, any television show where you're working with kids, you're going to have like 6. Like that would be a disaster if to have like 40 kids on set every single fucking day. Like he's just singing songs. Like, why do they have so many kids there? Like that's unreasonable. There's no show that would do that. Kids television show with like 40 fucking kids running around the entire time. Like you wouldn't be able to get a word in. Yeah, it wasn't convincing in any way. It felt misguided in every way.
I've just seen the budget for this.
What's the budget?
50 million.
in 2002.
What? Is that a fucking joke or what? What
How?
they spent $50 million on this suit?
Genuinely, how?
Holy shit!
I've just adjusted it for inflation. That's 82 million today.
Wow.
82 million and a half. That's like nearly what the new Puss in Boots cost to make.
Yeah,
Something's
so
not adding
funny,
up here.
yeah.
What?
Yeah, it was a flop. People did not see it.
Yeah, 8 million gross.
Yeah. It was just like so. I remember hearing ads on the radio and stuff like, "Oh, Death to Smoochie," and the way that they advertise it, like including the title, it seemed like just I don't know, someone really hates Barney, and it's like an assassination attempt premise.
Yeah, I remember hearing ads for it on the radio too.
But the movie was really just nothing, and like that was barely part of the movie was the assassination attempt.
Yeah,
It wasn't really what the movie was like. It felt like false advertising, and the title is striking. It's a good title for a movie if you want to get people interested in it. But fuck, it just it doesn't serve a purpose.
So yeah, probably with the premise, you could write an okay movie. Something fun, silly. If you kept some kind of consistent tone, had a story that maybe escalated and there were like consequences for the things that happened. Could have been okay, especially you have Robin Williams, Edward Norton, and Catherine Keener, and Danny DeVito. It's like a really strange mix of people to create something this uniquely bland and bad and terrible. I wonder what it was about this project that made Danny DeVito want to step up after Matilda. Yeah, I just made this really successful, fun kids movie. Let's do the inverse now. I guess I could see it from that angle, but yeah, this ain't it. This is not it.
It was years after. Matilda was 96. Death to Smoochie was 2002.
Okay.
Very bizarre.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know what it was about this. Because it's written by Adam Resnick, who... Man, yeah, I'm just looking at his IMDb. It's a really random group of people. I guess he wrote SNL. He did it for 20 episodes. And Late Night with David Letterman. But then I don't know how that really translates to this kids show parody edgy thing. Weird ass film.
Yeah, I'm debating whether or not this was more torture than that Adam Sandler one, Going Overboard.
I don't think it's as bad as that.
Which is longer.
I don't know if I would say it's as bad, maybe, but in terms of me wanting to escape and feeling abused by a film, it's pretty up there.
Yeah, and I think when I was watching Going Overboard, I'm not shocked really by a bad Adam Sandler movie. It's kind of par for the course for a lot of his projects. But when you're seeing the face of Edward Norton, you're seeing the face of Robin Williams and Catherine Keener, there's something very deeply wrong and unsettling about this movie. It was really bothersome. It was making me antsy.
Going Overboard was more fascinating in a way. It was, again, pure torture.
That's true.
But it was kind of more interesting in terms of who made this, and why.
I completely agree with you.
But this movie was more.
That was
boring.
It's a more interesting bad movie than this was. This was boring. Right. This was boring. I kept getting up and wanting to I'm this isn't even bad enough to shit on. It's just boring. Bland.
Yeah.
And there's just nothing to care about. This is all leading up to an ice show involving a sexual fetish and a lesbian hit squad leader. It's who fucking I can't care about anything going on in the movie.
Just a forgettable movie from the early 2000s that didn't make money.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah, what were the goals?
So special. Some people like it, apparently. Some people like this movie. I don't know if they're I don't know if they're trolling. Is this I don't know if this is the Malort of movies where people pretend to like it just to trick other people into watching it.
Yeah. They like the actors. They're well, Robin Williams, Edward Norton is so underrated. They just mention the cast and the people involved. But yeah, when you actually, because Letterboxd says a 3.1 or 3.2. There's some favorable. I think on IMDb it's got a 6 point something. It's not that bad.
6.3.
And then I watch it, I'm this is lame as fuck. What do people see in this? It's just, I think it's because not many people have seen it. I feel if more people saw it, it would have lower ratings, almost like how the new Birdemic has like higher ratings than the first two, only because less people saw it.
It's like a name,
that's like that's just how I feel. It's because I don't think it's that good. You know, there's movies that we talked about on this show that I feel like I've been harsh on that like are better than this. You know, I can't even give this like a pass.
It doesn't offer anything substantive
Uh-huh.
at all. And even in its ironic humor where it's like, haha, it's, you know, maybe it's part of the point that it doesn't offer anything substantive. It's still not interesting. It's still not funny. It's not entertaining in any way. So when the reason why I recommended this movie is because we mentioned it briefly when we were answering a question on one of the other episodes. People were asking about like earliest examples of like noticing bad filmmaking or something. And I mentioned this movie because, you know, I started watching it when I guess I must have been like 12 based on when it came out. And, you know, you get to the opening, like within the first 5-10 minutes of the movie, you get to Jon Stewart making like a pitch or something. And there's this weird, like high angle that's really close to his face that almost looks like it's kind of like, you know, some Terry Gilliam film. And it's just out of nowhere. And and the lighting doesn't work with it. And I'm just like, that was what stuck out to me when I was watching this as a kid, and I immediately shut it off. I was like, why? Like it just felt so bad because it's such a weird choice that doesn't look good and it's unmotivated. That's what pisses me off, and it's crazy that this has just been so consistent over, you know, 20 years later that I just feel like, you know, I like when you make decisions, but they have to be motivated by something, right? Like it doesn't work when you're just like, haha, let's do a Dutch angle here and a Dutch angle there. And it's like, well, what does it mean in terms of the context of the scene or the characters? Like,
oh my God, there were so many Dutch angles.
There's plenty of good reasons to have interesting choices, but you can't just throw them in randomly and be like, oh, look, I'm making a movie. Like, what are you doing? Like it has to be motivated by something taking place in the scene, or I want a reason for it. Otherwise, it just seems like you're just randomly doing shit for no reason. And yeah, I don't know. It pisses me off. There was a lot of that in this movie. A lot of weird, unmotivated lighting and camera choices.
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned those Dutch angles. So they wouldn't stop. Just loads of weird technique like that. Just shoving
Irrelevant.
Dutch angles, like loads of montages as well. Like moving the story along with like headlines on newspapers, like, you know, like that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Man. Yeah, really purposeless kind of film.
No
goals.
Overall, yeah. Throughout, no purpose to be found. Very soul draining.
The Roger Ebert review of it is scathing. He gave it a half star, which is very rare for him.
Based.
Yeah. And yeah, that's a little more accurate to how I feel about it. It is like, he describes it as, wait, let me go to the bottom here. Odd, inexplicable, and unpleasant. It's basically how I would describe it too.
Yeah. It's not a pleasant watch.
I agree with him.
It feels like a movie that has the ability to abuse its viewers. I feel abused by the film.
It feels like an awful miscalculation. That's how it feels.
Yeah.
Trying to be funny and just not.
Yeah.
I'm glad I'm not alone on it. Because I was kind of worried.
Every fucking angle. The humor sucks. Like the parody angle sucks. The crime angle sucks. The music sucks. The visuals suck. Every single thing you could list is just like unbearable to try and get through and zip through.
Yeah.
Nothing
it's
compelling at all about the movie.
No, genuinely nothing. Like even if you had to like really, really try and think of something to like point at something and say that was okay in Death to Smoochie. Give me something. I'm really like
the
struggling.
Nazi part.
And, you know, I have a fear of Barney. It's like, okay, this movie, it has the premise, like do something with it, like scare me. Like shock me with it. Did nothing with it. Nothing. By the end, I was so bored the whole movie. Like I had no, the whole Barney thing just didn't even faze me during it. I'm like, okay, it's just Edward Norton. in a suit. It doesn't even matter.
Yeah, in that runtime, they genuinely do nothing. They do nothing.
Right. You could have had a
almost an
fun parody
accomplishment.
angle there. Like, let's make fun of like kids shows and how shallow they are or something. Do some angle with it. But yeah, it's almost just like so fucking random.
Instead, they tried to make it more about how Edward Norton, because he like starts off, as I was saying earlier, it's like the naive, like he's got his morals and he cares about certain things, but then he kind of shifts into someone who's gonna commit a murder or like threaten people with guns and whatnot.
Oh yeah,
it's like,
yeah.
Don't destroy
That's
who
his
you are,
arc
type thing.
Yeah, you're right. That's his arc.
Like,
He's like gonna become bad, but then at the end he doesn't. He like for no reason he just decides not to.
Nothing.
Lame.
Nothing.
Yeah, nothing.
Nothing.
We could just say it all led to nothing.
Nothing.
yeah, serves nothing, accomplishes nothing. It's just
my
a
God.
strange combo.
There was one part. I'm looking at some of my notes here. There's just I forget everything about the movie until I. It's a good thing I take notes.
Yeah.
A movie like this, it's not sticking with me. I'm literally like I would have almost nothing to say about it.
Yeah, in one ear out the other. Yeah.
Yeah. So there was that part where they were like they played I forget the original classical song name, but the 2001: A Space Odyssey song. And the way that it was like chopped up in the scene in terms of like, it was playing way too fast and it wasn't sped up. They literally just cut out pieces of the song so that it matched what they were filming. I'm like, holy shit. Because realistically, if you were filming that scene and this like sort of, epic, grandiose, bombastic sort of, parody, grain of salt sort of thing, you would think that they would know that that's the song that they were going to play before they started shooting the scene, and they could shoot the scene around the pacing of the song. But it seems like they just shot whatever the fuck they want, and then the editor was forced to try and wedge in the song where it didn't fit, so they had to cut out parts of the song, and just like the pacing was just so off, and it was so infuriating and irritating. It was so weird.
The music was just so like weird. The song choices were bad for this movie. Like they start playing "I Feel Pretty" from West Side Story, like an instrumental.
For no
Why?
reason.
Yeah, it just makes you think of other better movies. Like you gotta think
Anger
about how you
management.
use music better. Yeah, it's just
just things that they put in the
Unnecessary.
movie that, according to them, are supposed to inherently be funny. But they forgot to make it funny. They thought that, just by putting this song in there, that's automatically funny. Just by having, we're making a kids show, but we say the word fuck, like that's inherently supposed to be funny. No, do something interesting with it. What was that movie that came out like a few years ago where it was like, oh, it's like Muppets, but they swear, like that's supposed to inherently be funny, but it looked like shit,
Oh, that.
Like it looked so
Murders.
boring.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, that's right. Oh, that was fucking awful.
you have to do something interesting with it. You can't just. The whole
That's not enough to carry a movie.
like, oh, he made a
Right.
penis cookie, and he said it's a rocket ship. I called that line like 20 seconds before it happened. I literally just said it out loud. I'm like, it's a rocket ship. and then he held on that and he did a face and it was waiting for like so long, like literally 20 seconds go by. He's like, it's a rocket ship. I'm like, yeah, there it is. The joke I said 20 fucking seconds ago. It's so predictable. You can't even have jokes in this movie. It's so predictable. It doesn't do anything interesting. It doesn't do it's not clever. It's actual torture. If I can tell exactly what they're going to say before they say it by like 20 seconds, why am I even watching the fucking movie? Why am I even watching? You're not showing me anything.
That part was dragged out so long. The
So
whole penis
long.
cookie thing. It was like 30 seconds of him looking at the cookie. It's like, yeah,
everyone
I
in
get
the world couldn't predict exactly what he was going to say.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, how's he going to get out of this one? How's he going to explain it away? Also, like, what? Are they fucking live broadcasting? You can't do another take? How is that even a conflict?
Yeah, I didn't really understand.
It
what
wasn't
was
even
on the line
live.
there.
Just do it again.
Yeah,
Just take out the
it was
cookie.
never clear if it was. Yeah, it was never clear if it was live or not. Right, I was thinking that too. One good thing about this movie, it's free on YouTube. Didn't have to pay to watch it, so that was good. What is it with
shit,
the fucking?
really?
Yeah. Oh, you
rented it.
did? Oh shit. Maybe it's different. Maybe it's different for your country
Yeah,
though.
probably
It
not
might
in
have
your
been
region,
different.
actually.
Yeah, maybe your region.
You buy the collector's Blu-ray?
Yeah, the 4K edition. Yeah,
But it was the same thing with that Adam Sandler movie that we mentioned. The going overboard. Going Overboard, I watched on YouTube free too. So like, what is it with these
They're-
fucking bad movies that I
Yeah.
watch on YouTube for
No
free?
one wants to watch them.
There's nothing to mine from it. Yeah, no one cares.
Actual dump.
We need some better movies on YouTube for free with ads. I mean, come on. There's probably some good stuff, and maybe we could make something free with ads that's actually good.
Apparently, people fucking love this one, right? So-
Apparently, like all the comments on this YouTube upload, like amazing cast, criminally underrated, Robin Williams. You know, it's like, come on.
Criminally underrated.
It's not Dead Poet Society. I mean, come on.
There was a part where I think it was Robin Williams' character and the little person's house, and they just make pasta, and it was like the worst looking pasta I've ever seen on film.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if you have any input, Ralph, but that was
Disgusting. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it looked like blood they were pouring on
I
it.
think my brain kind of blocked it out because I don't remember it too much.
repressed.
But yeah, my brain repressed
I was
it.
like,
Yeah.
I was
yeah.
like, that's disgust. That is the worst looking pasta I've ever seen. It's always bad when
Yeah.
you see like really bad looking food in a movie and the characters don't acknowledge it, as if it's just like they put no thought or effort into it. It's like, oh, I guess the actors actually just made the food on set and they didn't have somebody for that. Like, okay.
Yeah, that's exactly how
I guess
it
they
looked,
just
yeah.
boiled noodles and put some fucking ketchup on
Yeah.
it. Like, I don't know what the hell.
I made you some toast.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you're looking for a Robin Williams movie, there are many other choices. I'd say even just watch Jumanji. That's a better movie than this. It's not even a
Oh,
great
yeah.
movie.
Yeah, much better.
It's a better movie than this.
We got to shout out the just with the balancing the tone thing when Robin Williams like in the street like pours gasoline over himself and is about to set himself on fire, and people are just kind of like watching, not really caring.
That's what I want to highlight.
In the street, we got to shout out we got to shout out the just with the balancing the tone thing when Robin Williams like in the street like pours gasoline over himself and is about to set himself on fire, and people are just kind of like watching, not really caring that much. They're just kind of like watching. No one's like saying anything, and then they they have the goal to bring out the little girl and have her blow out the match to have this.
They
like,
have a little girl
sweet
run
moment.
at him with gasoline. The crowd would go, "No, get away from him!"
Yeah.
They would pull her away.
I cringed so hard. I cringed so
Why would they
fucking
let the
hard
little
at that
girl
moment.
go up to this guy covered in gasoline in a match?
It's so cute how he didn't
Why would they
kill
let
himself.
her do that? That's all I was thinking.
Yeah.
Oh, if I was there, I'd be like, "Get the fuck away from it!"
She blows it out and acts as if it's like sentimental, like kind of fucking like, oh,
Yeah, that's what's weird though. Like 20 minutes
tone.
before it, they're
yeah.
like joking about like Nazis and
Yeah, it's so tonally
running
off,
to
right?
walls,
Because
yeah.
it's just it's so
I was pissed off how
disturbing.
that
It's like
happened.
such a disturbing.
Because at a certain point in the movie, when your movie's that bad, I'm like, yeah, actually just have your characters all kill themselves. We can end the movie sooner, you know? Do something interesting. And then
preferable.
And then the you know, how fucking cheap is it not to just have, you know, some random character save the day, but it's like, oh, it's a cute little girl. Oh, like fuck off.
Yeah.
I'm so sick of that shit. You show me something interesting. It's infuriating. It's legitimately infuriating.
That was very corny.
That part, I almost had a stroke.
Yeah, I'm
when I
glad you
watched
mentioned that
part.
scene, Alex, because
Yeah, awful
Yeah.
fucking scene. Maybe the worst scene. Yeah.
there's so much bad in here that is, you can't even like keep track of it all.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why we have notes.
That's why it's on YouTube. You can just scroll through it.
It's on YouTube. They had Comic Sans.
You can just scroll through it.
It's on YouTube.
We got to shout out the just with the balancing the tone thing when Robin Williams like in the street, like pours gasoline over himself, and is about to set himself on fire, and people are just kind of like watching, not really caring that much. They're just kind of like watching. No one's like saying anything, and then they have the goal to bring out the little girl and have her blow out the match to have this.
They have a little girl
blow out the match to have this.
They have a little girl run at him with gasoline.
Match to have this.
They have a little girl run at him with gasoline. The crowd would go, no! No, get away from him! They would pull her away!
I cringed. I
would pull her away!
I cringed so hard. I cringed so
Why would
fucking
they let
hard
the little
at that
girl?
moment. Cringed so
Why would
fucking
they let the
hard
little
at that
girl?
moment.
I can no longer live in a world where the innocent suffer and the wicked thrive.
Freddy Got Fingered is a better movie than this. It's way more entertaining. Hard. I cringed so
Why would
fucking
they let
hard
the little
at that
girl?
moment. No.
Go up to this guy covered in gasoline in a match.
It's so cute how he didn't
Why would they
kill
let
himself.
her do that? Go up. Go up to this guy covered in gasoline in a match.
It's so cute how he didn't
Why would they
kill
let
himself.
her do that? That's all I was thinking.
Yeah.
Oh, if I was there, I'd be like, get the fuck away from it. Away from it.
She blows. She blows.
Get the fuck away from it.
She blows it out and acts as if it's like sentimental, like kind of fucking like.
Oh,
yeah,
so
yeah, that's what's
cute.
weird though. Like,
Oh,
yeah,
so
yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
so
yeah, that's what's
cute.
weird. 20 minutes
That's
before
it,
it, they're
yeah.
like joking about like Nazis and
Yeah, it's so tonally
running
off.
to and
Yeah.
before it,
Yeah.
they're like joking about like Nazis and
Yeah, it's so tonally
running
off,
to
right?
walls.
Because
Yeah.
it's just it's so
I was pissed off how
disturbing.
that
It's like
happened.
such a disturbing.
Because
disturbing disturbing.
Because at a certain point in the movie, when your movie's that bad, I'm like, yeah, actually, just have your characters all kill themselves. We can end the movie soon. Have your characters all.
I don't want to get
Just
demonetized.
have your
so-
characters all.
Do I have a bleep sound effect? Okay, like censor beep. Is this it? Yeah, that'll do it.
Kill themselves. Actually, just have your characters all kill themselves. We can end the movie. Have your characters all kill themselves. We just have your characters all. We can end the movie sooner.
Yeah.
You know,
So we can-
do something interesting,
Yeah,
and then
preferable.
And then the you know, how fucking cheap is it not to just have, you know, some random character save the day, but it's like, oh, it's a cute little girl. Oh, like fuck off.
Yeah.
I'm so sick of that. Just have your characters all. We can end the movie sooner.
Yeah.
You know, we can end the. We can end the movie. Like fuck off.
Yeah.
I'm so sick of that shit. Just show me something interesting. It's infuriating. It's literally legitimately infuriating.
That was very corny.
That's infuriating. It's literally legitimately.
was-
It's infuriating. It's literally legitimately infuriating.
That was very corny.
That part. I almost had a.
Very corny.
That part.
That was very corny.
That part. I almost had a stroke.
Yeah, I'm
when I
glad you
watched
mentioned
that
that
part.
scene, Alex. Because
Yeah, awful
Yeah.
fucking scene.
I'm
When I
glad you
watched
mentioned. Yeah, I'm.
When
Yeah, I'm
when I
glad you
watched
mentioned
that
that
part.
scene, Alex. Because
Yeah, awful.
yeah, 'cause I-
Yeah.
Alex. Because
Yeah, awful
Yeah.
fucking scene. Maybe.
'cause I-
Yeah, awful
Yeah.
fucking scene. Maybe the worst scene. Yeah.
there's so much.
Yeah.
There's there's so much bad in here that is you can't even like keep track of it all.
Yeah.
That's why we have
and like keep track of it all.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's notes.
That's why it's on YouTube. That's why it's on YouTube. You can just scroll through it.
It's on YouTube. It's on YouTube.
We got to shout out the just with the balancing the tone thing when Robin Williams like in the street like pours gasoline over himself and is about to set himself on fire, and people are just kind of like watching, not really caring that much. They're just kind of like watching. No one's like saying anything, and then they they have the goal to bring out the little girl and have her blow out the match to have this.
They have a little girl run at him with gasoline. The crowd would go, "No, get away from him!" They would pull her away.
I cringed so hard. I cringed so
Why would they
fucking
let
hard
the little
at that
girl?
moment. Ugh. So
Why would they
fucking
let the
hard
little
at that
girl?
moment. Ugh. No.
Go up to this guy covered in gasoline in a match.
It's so cute how he didn't
Why would they
kill
let
himself.
her do that? That's all I was thinking.
Yeah.
Oh, if I was there, I'd be like, "Get the fuck away from it!"
She blows it out and acts as if it's like sentimental, like kind of fucking like, oh,
yeah, that's what's weird though. Like 20 minutes
tone.
before it,
Yeah.
they're like joking about like Nazis and
Yeah, it's so tonally
running
off,
to
right?
walls,
Because
yeah.
it's just it's so
I was pissed off how
disturbing.
that
It's like
happened.
such a disturbing.
Because at a certain point in the movie, when your movie's that bad, I'm like, yeah, actually, just have your characters all. We can end the movie sooner, you know. Do something interesting, and then
preferable.
And then the you know how fucking cheap is it not to just have, you know, some random character save the day, but it's like, oh, it's a cute little girl. Oh, like fuck off.
Yeah.
I'm so sick of that shit. Show me something interesting. It's infuriating. It's legitimately infuriating.
That was very corny.
That part, I almost had a stroke.
Yeah, I'm
when I
glad you
watched
mentioned that
part.
scene, Alex. Because
Yeah, awful
Yeah.
fucking scene. Maybe the worst scene. Yeah.
there's so much bad in here that is, you can't even like keep track of it all.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why we have notes.
That's why it's on YouTube. You can just scroll through it.
It's on YouTube.
We got to shout out the just with the balancing the tone thing.
BRB. Gotta go to the bathroom. Hold on. I'm back. Alright, I think the video exported, so I can upload that.
They had Comic Sans in the credits. That was cool.
Oh yeah, yep.
Yeah.
But that's the thing. It didn't feel like when it ended that I'd actually watched a movie.
No.
It didn't feel like what I just watched was real. But that's a $50 million investment. Like you just watched. Like,
Yeah,
It's a lot of.
That's hilarious.
It's a lifetime supply of hummus.
yeah.
Well, yeah, that scene you just mentioned where he like almost lights himself on fire, and that they filmed that in Times Square. Yeah, that probably cost money to film.
Yeah, there were a lot of Times Square scenes actually. That's probably where a lot
Right.
of the budget went.
Exactly. Like you could have just filmed it on a street and
No.
saved like a couple $1 million.
No,
but no,
because it's a
they-
movie. It has to be in Times Square.
Yeah,
Duh.
exactly. You could have even
It's a
filmed it
movie.
in New York City, but you could have filmed it in New York City just on a street. It didn't have to be
No.
Times Square, but yeah,
It has to
they
be
had
in
to
Times
like
Square.
indulge. Yes, for Death of Smoochie, for this story, it's so important. We need to film it at Times Square. Yeah, we need $50 million to tell it.
Exactly. It's
Yeah.
one of those things
$20
where it's
million
like
more than District 9.
you put something like that in your movie, and it's sort of
Yeah.
you're like, oh, well, this must be a movie of the year because it's in Times Square. It's like it's stamp of legitimacy, like having the Dwayne the Rock Johnson in it at this point. You know, like, oh, this is a movie of the year. Dwayne's in it. Gotta go see DC Super Pets.
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, well, get me out of here is what I would say to this movie. I didn't do anything. Just let me out.
Yeah, I would say death to Smoochie. I would say that.
Death to Smoochie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
1 out of 10. Gigantic.
Yeah, half star.
It is a crime film in the sense that the film itself is a crime.
The film is a crime. Yeah, I'm looking through the credits now. Yeah, the Comic Sans. I gotta give it a half star.
Yeah, there's no excuse for this. There's no reason that it had to wind up like this bad. With all that silent attached, it's just such a strange product.
It's either a star or a half star. I don't know. I don't want to jump right on. Maybe it's just 1 star for now. So it's one of those.
It
No fucking half star.
doesn't.
This movie broke me. I don't even know.
get much worse
Who
than
even
that.
am I anymore?
But yeah, it like changes your subconscious or something. It's done something. It has done something to me. I feel kind of different. It's like a before and after point with this shit.
I feel like we need a lower rating for like this and the Adam Sandler one. We need like
Well,
a
yeah,
negative.
I said they're classified as torture. I think that's a new genre. This is in the same genre as torture, as
Yeah.
Going Overboard. They're both torture.
It goes half, 1 star, half star, and then your torture. Then it's just torture. All right.
Yeah, I think that's
That's just Smoochie.
Yeah. Well, that was the worst movie I've ever recommended on the podcast.
Death to my brain cells. Yeah.
Thanks to all y'all on the fucking subreddit and shit being like, oh, you recommend this to Smoochie yet? Assholes.
Thanks, Adam.
You're welcome.
This is what you get. You reap what you sow, man.
I love bad discussions. I prefer more movies like this than
Oh, yeah?
good movies. Yeah. I love recommending a bad movie.
All right.
The
Well,
discussions are always funny. Yeah.
I guess it's question time.
Yeah, let's head over to the suggestion thread on the Sardonicast subreddit and answer questions from the community, just like Successful Repeat 266 did. In the wake of the Velma backlash and general backlash against meta-humor, Whedon-speak, etc., do you think we're going to see a new trend of sincere, ironic humor within the next 5 or so years, or maybe another brand of popular humor entirely? I've not seen it described as Whedon-speak, but
What
yeah,
is
that kind of Marvel quippy, self-referential, dissolving tension with acknowledging like what's happening. It's behind me, isn't it? Type thing. This has been building for a while, man. The whole meta humor conversation. Like, there was a time where it's kind of avant-garde. This is new. This is Rick and Morty fresh, but it's like the most. Velma's like, yeah, just the latest example of it. The most tired, just lazy approach at humor. That's really what
played
it is.
out.
Like I was saying with Death to Smoochie, there's certain things where people will throw something into a product as if it inherently makes it good or interesting or funny, and this meta self-referential thing is just the new one of those where it's like, okay, yeah, you referenced yourself, so what? You're not saying anything. Say something. It's interesting when you say something. And so when it comes to, I guess the question is, will we see a trend of sincerity? I think that those things kind of cancel each other out almost. Like it's kind of oxymoronic, because if you're going after something to follow a trend, you're typically doing it for money, right? Like you're typically the most sincere people don't follow trends. They do their own thing. So
Yeah. I feel like it's really taken off after Deadpool, that whole self-referential thing.
Yeah.
And yeah, Deadpool did it well because, you know, that was the nature of the character. He was a self-referential character, and they had passion for that story. Ryan Reynolds wanted to make a Deadpool movie, and it worked. And it was like lightning in a bottle. And then, yeah, like Adam says, they just jump on trends, and I don't know what happened. It's just that one specifically, just comedy really shifted that way toward like this meta humor, and yeah, it's so played out. Like there's not really much you can do with it ultimately, and that's why it's kind of fizzled out, because it's just like there's not much depth to that kind of meta humor when every movie does it. It's like, yeah, we've seen it before, it's been done. I haven't seen anyone do it and have a new spin on it recently. Yeah, I feel like Everything Everywhere All at Once is like a good turn toward like that more genuine humor. It's making references, but it's clever. Like I don't mind like reference humor.
It's even got some shock humor in there, and reference.
Yeah,
humor.
it's more variety, right? It's not just like one joke, right? It's
but it's
other
in
stuff.
service of something. It's like the difference, like the whole like the Ratatouille reference in that movie. Like there's like a payoff to that and a whole gag like designed all around it, you know. Whereas like, I guess the difference is like when Deadpool or whatever says this part of the script sucks, right? Let's move on. You know, it's like, well, yeah, it's still. So just kind of like sucks, you know.
Yeah. It still sucks, yeah. So either embrace it and just do it, or fix it.
It's one of those things.
I prefer that.
If you're the first to do it, you can get away with it. But it's like once we've been seeing it for nearly 10 years, like you got to whip out some new tricks. I'm afraid.
I almost respect a movie more that's just willing to be bad, or you know, it's just like, we're gonna do this decision. We're not gonna make fun of it. This is the movie. This is where we're going. You know, Spider-Man doesn't have to make a reference to himself like, oh, isn't this silly? Or isn't this over the top? I'm fighting a guy with octopus arms. It's just, it is what it is. If you like it.
Right, yeah.
Did I leave the microwave on?
Yeah. If you like it, you like it. If you don't, then watch something else. I mean, there's not much, you know, we don't have to fucking make jokes about everything. I don't know.
Yeah. It's probably why it's
tired.
such, like, speaking of, like, Top Gun Maverick and whatnot, like, maybe it's why audiences, like, flocked in such a way where, you know, like, the Marvel kind of, that style, you know, it's just been so fucking milked and done to death. Spider-Man making fun of how silly everything is, and, yeah, just something taking itself seriously and having stakes in a certain way, and... Yeah, the Whedon thing, like, it's funny because man, late kind of 90s, like Joss Whedon and his dialogue and style of writing was like, as far as nerd culture was concerned, it was kind of like the cream of the crop. Like that's what everyone wanted and loved. And I guess it bled into Marvel, and now it's just everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, it seeped into everything. Like, have you seen that game Forspoken came out recently?
Yeah.
It's
I'm
kind of been
fighting a
clowned for
freaking
its-
dragon? Wow.
Yeah.
So let me get this straight.
Yeah, it's dialogue like that. It's like
Yeah.
it's like a teenager wrote it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, very, very tired.
Yeah.
Connor for real has one for us. Curious if any of you have checked out the Letterboxd Top 250 lately and noticed the Brazilian film, and I apologize in advance for this, O Auto de Compadecida, translated to A Dog's Will, has climbed all the way up to number 3 on the list, more recently passing The Godfather and Harakiri. While I found some of it funny, I could tell some of the specific cultural references went over my head, and it's a pretty shabby-looking film technical-wise. The rise through the ranks seems to have been driven almost entirely through Brazilian letterbox users, and I'm curious if, 1, any of you have seen the film, and 2, you've seen other films skyrocket in popularity like this thanks to a specific country outside of traditional Western film markets.
Yeah. Well, that happens with India all the time, I
Yeah,
think, now.
every
Those
Indian
Bollywood
movie
movies, they have
ever made.
such inflated ratings.
That's what I was going to bring up.
And, that's not a genre I'm a huge fan of, or at least the ones I've seen. I won't say all of them. But yeah, they have like these ridiculously high ratings that are crazy. RRR has such high ratings, and all these people I even know give it like 5 stars. I'm like, I wonder what they see in it that I don't. But yeah, I haven't seen it Dog's Well. A friend of mine gave it a 5 out of 10.
No, it's on my watch list. 2000, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's been on my watch list. I don't know when I put it on there, but yeah.
It's number 3 now. That is very interesting.
It's something we have to just keep bringing up more and more. I
Yeah.
guess the longer these these aggregate kind of data collection websites like IMDb's or Letterboxd's, people can just gain the algorithms, can abuse the rating systems, and at a certain point, unless it's like regulated in some way or looked.
That is very.
The algorithms can abuse.
I guess my file corrupted, but I'll fix that in a minute. I'm just gonna make some thumbnails actually. How about that instead? Just do that. Hold on. Let me window capture. That's not what I'm displaying right now. I guess I'll turn that off and just do this. Okay. I think I'm gonna end the stream because I gotta put some stuff in my Google Docs. But alright, I'll see you.